Hey y'all, welcome back to FaceTime Friday. Congratulations, you made it through another week, and happy Thanksgiving from yesterday for all of you that celebrate Thanksgiving. If not, I hope that you were able to spend some time with your friends, your family, your loved ones, or even some time by yourself, because I think that's very important during all of the hustle and bustle of this holiday season to remember to take some time for yourself. It's easy for us to forget, and I know that the holidays can be a very stressful time for a lot of people for a lot of reasons that I won't necessarily get into. And I also know that this is a very sad time for a lot of people. So I am sending all of my love, my light, and my positive warm vibrations to all of you who are missing loved ones or families and friends during this holiday season for one reason or another. For some of us, this might be the first holiday season that we are going without someone who has transitioned and moved on. So my heart definitely goes out to you during this season, because I can completely understand and relate to anyone that is in that particular position. Good afternoon. My name is Nick Scott. I am the president and co-founder of Scott Media, a personal branding agency located in Denver, Colorado, where we help people use social media to grow their brand and influence. And today, what I want to do is I want to talk to you about 11 things that I recommend and that I try to implement in my own life to stay focused as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, as someone who is maintaining and building a brand. Last week, I talked a lot. Well, not as much as I wanted to, but I talked a lot about focus and how I challenged you to push back on the idea of not putting all of your eggs in one basket. And you can check out that video. I'll make sure that I link it somewhere around, probably in the comments, so that you can go back and check out that video if you're curious to know exactly what I was talking about. But today, again, I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know that this is a very busy time. A lot of you are probably even out catching some of those Black Friday deals right now. I have one actually going on myself. Speaking of Black Friday, my premium online course, Master Social Video, is currently 50% off, and that deal, that discount, that sale does end tomorrow at midnight Eastern Standard Time. So if you were interested in getting in on the 50% off deal for Master Social Video, then you will have to act fast, because again, the course is going to go back up. Actually, I don't even think the course is going to go back up. I think I'm going to just close the course for enrollment for a period of time. So if you're looking to get in on the course and not miss this enrollment opportunity, the 50% off deal does close tomorrow at midnight Eastern Standard Time. So now, not to waste too much of y'all's time and not to ramble too much. Y'all know how I do, but it's cool because I hope that y'all are getting some nuggets and some gems, even with all of the extra tangential dialogue that I sometimes might give you unsolicited. We're just going to get right into these 11 tips that I have for you to stay focused as an entrepreneur, as someone who's building their personal brand, growing their personal brand, as a small business owner. And even some of these might even can be transferable to those of you who are traditional professionals. Okay, so the first one, and this is something that I have said a lot around here, along with my conversations about fear. The first one is be positive during this holiday season. And I know for some people, positivity and what that means has a subjective definition, right? But by and large, when I'm saying be positive, I'm saying always look at the bright side, because there's always a bright side. I am saying don't focus on the flaws, because nothing is perfect. There's always going to be flaws in everything. So don't focus on the flaws. Instead, focus on those things that are productive. right? Be positive. And for some of us, it's easy for easier for some of us, it is easy to be positive. I know for me, and I've said it before in these live videos, that one of my top 5 strengths in Strengths Finder is positivity. So that is one of the strengths that I personally can tap into relatively easily. And quite honestly, when you're around somebody that has a top 5 strength of positivity, it can be a little frustrating for those of us who don't have a top 5 strength as positivity. So be positive during this holiday season. And the second thing that I want to encourage you to do is invest in yourself. We spend a lot of time during the holidays thinking about other people, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I absolutely think that we should 100% spend a lot of our time, our talent, and our treasure investing in other people. That is what this life is about. We are not put on this earth to solely be by ourselves and to be inward. The experiences that we go through, the challenges and the opportunities that we're afforded, those are all for us to be able to pour into other people and to pay it forward. So don't be mistaken when I'm saying to invest in yourself, that I'm telling you to ignore and not invest in other people. But this time of year is really not, we don't spend a lot of time focusing on ourselves. We spend a lot of time making sure that everything is perfect for all of the family and friends and loved ones that we might have coming in to visit with us. We spend a lot of time buying things for everybody else. But I really encourage you to take some time as often as possible to really invest in yourself. And that doesn't necessarily mean going to spend money on yourself, but if that's what it takes for you to be able to recharge, for you to be able to make sure that your cup is full so that you can continue to pour into other people, by all means, spend money. For some of us, that just means taking, a couple hours just away in a quiet room by ourselves. So this holiday season, I encourage you as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a traditional professional, to remember to invest in yourself. The third thing that I recommend doing is to set expectations. Set expectations with yourself. Set expectations with your colleagues. Set expectations with your supervisor. Set expectations with your family, with your friends, with your clients, with your coworkers. Make sure that you're communicating your availability, right? As someone who does have a small business, it is important that my clients understand that this is a busy time of year, not just for me, but for everyone. And there are some people who don't get as immersed into this time of year in terms of all of their time is not allocated to the holidays. So those people, they might be on their email all day, every day, as if this were any other time of the year. But I know for me, I'm not. So we have to make sure that we communicate that to our clients, to our potential clients, to anyone that we're dealing with. Make sure that we are absolutely setting those expectations, especially in terms of communication, because a lot of deals go sour during this time of year because people like to check out, and there's nothing wrong with checking out, because I recommend it. If you are on vacation, unplug and disconnect, okay? But make sure that the people who need to know that you're unplugging and disconnecting, that they know you are unplugging and disconnecting. Number 4, be realistic about what you are going to be able to do during this holiday season. It's busy. I said hustle and bustle at the beginning of this video, and I think that is a very common phrase to describe this time of year, especially in America, because I know everyone who is in this group, you're not all American, but especially in this country, hustle and bustle, man, it's insane, and it's almost contagious, right? So you have to be realistic about what you're going to be able to accomplish with your business, with your brand, and with your profession. You're also going to have to be realistic about what you're able to accomplish personally, right? I'm a high achiever, and I know a lot of you in this group, you are also high achievers. And because we are high achievers, we tend sometimes to set unrealistic goals for ourselves and then get discouraged when we don't necessarily hit those benchmarks. But I highly encourage you to be realistic as we go forth through the end of this fourth quarter and as we start to enter into first quarter of 2019. Be realistic about your goals and what you can accomplish. Number 5, focus on the big picture. Okay. Again, it's easy to get lost during this time of year for a lot of reasons. And it's not always just because of the holidays, but it's for a lot of reasons why people can get lost in this November, December timeframe going into the new year. But I encourage you to focus on the big picture. What are you doing this for? Who are you doing this for? Okay? Keep that in mind always, because the process is never, ever, ever pretty, and it gets nastier and uglier and murkier during periods of the time of year where everybody just seems to shut down and check out. So focus on the big picture, stay the course, and remember that this is a journey, okay? Number 6, get some rest. This kind of goes back to what I said in number 2 about investing in yourself, but absolutely get some rest. I am finding myself, I mentioned last week how I felt like I was tired because of the time change. Well, I'm still extremely exhausted. And when your body is telling you that you need some rest, get some rest. None of us are getting any younger. So make sure that we're taking care of ourselves again so that our cups can be full so that we can continue to pour into other people. Number 7, stay hydrated. When we're busy and when our senses are very heightened due to a number of things, especially during December and November, you have to remember to stay hydrated. When I say stay hydrated, I mean drinking water, H2O. And especially if you tend to like to indulge in the occasional, or more often than the occasional, cocktail. A lot of us, we're waking up, we're drinking mimosas and Bloody Marys in the morning. You're having a cocktail at lunch. You are drinking with your family in the evening at dinner. So make sure between all of the busyness, all of the cocktails, all of the food that we're consuming and eating, that we're staying hydrated, because our body really does perform best when it's going back to number 6, when it's rested and when it's hydrated. So make sure that you're drinking your water, y'all. There's great apps out there for you to track your water. The recommended amount of water to be drank, and this is for anyone, it's half your body weight in ounces of water. Okay, so if you're 100 pounds, that's 50 ounces of water at least you should be drinking a day. Stay hydrated. Please stay hydrated. Number 8 is make to-do lists and priority lists. Several videos ago, it might have been a couple months ago, I answered a commonly asked question that I get about how do I do it all? How do I stay organized? And I said I don't have a formal system. I do what I call prioritization with lists. And that is very helpful for me, just to keep track, to make sure that I'm getting the things done that I want to get done within a set day. But as you're making those lists and checking them twice, I also recommend that you rewind back to the number 4 tip that I gave you, and that was be realistic about your lists. When I talked about my lists, I said that my lists are never more than like 7 items for a day. Optimally, they're going to be between 3 and 5, at most 7. Very rarely do I have 10 items to complete on a list. So make lists of what you need to get from the grocery store. Make lists about what you need to buy for folks in terms of gifts. Make lists about what your packing list is if you are going on vacation. Make lists about your menu that you're going to make for dinner that night. Make lists about all of the things that you want to accomplish for your business that day. Make lists and prioritize those lists in terms of who you need to be contacting, who you need to be emailing. Make lists about your blog posts. Make lists, y'all. But again, be realistic about what you're going to be able to accomplish within any given day when you're making those lists. Number 9. This is something else that's very easy for me. And that is just say no. Just say no. If there are projects, if there are opportunities, if there are events that you're getting invited to, it's okay to say no. It's okay to miss out. Think about what the return on the investment is on that particular project or that particular client or that particular event that you've gotten invited. What is the return on your investment? A lot of us are stretched very, very, very thin during these last few weeks of every single year. So it's okay to say no. Again, we have to make sure that our cups are continually being refilled so that we can continually pour into each other. And if we're just going, yes, to everything that comes our way, not only does that cause undue stress on ourselves, like that to me is stress that we bring on ourselves. If you're saying yes to everything just for the sake of saying yes to be a yes person, and then you're stressed out and you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off, to me, you brought that on yourself. So learn how to say no, and no is a complete sentence. So you can always remember that. Number 10, some of you might not want to hear this, but it is so important, like I said, in number 7, to stay hydrated, and number 6, to get some rest. Number 10, I want you to exercise, whatever that looks like for you, and that looks different for everyone. But make sure that you're exercising, because it is scientifically proven about the endorphins and the benefits of exercise, and how even though when you exercise, I'm a pretty consistent person who exercises. And let me tell you something. I hate every single second of every workout that I have ever done in my entire life since I was a teenager. Every single second of every workout. But I do it anyway because I know that it's good for me. And again, in order for my body to perform at optimum levels, in order for me to be as mentally and emotionally sharp as I can be, I need to make sure that my body has exactly what it needs. And there is something about exercise, and I am not a scientist. Y'all know that. I mean, I'm a scientist, but not a scientist of the body. I'm a scientist of marketing and branding. But there's something about exercise that really does allow your body not only just to stay healthy, keeping your heart and your lungs healthy, but about keeping you sharp and focused and being able to be the best you that you can be, not just for yourself, but for everyone else that you're serving. And finally, number 11, what are your goals? What are your outcomes? What are your objectives? What are you trying to achieve? What is it that you want to achieve during these last few weeks of the year? Stay focused on the goals. This ties right back to what I said about the big picture in number 5. I said, make sure that you're staying focused on the big picture, but even more niche and focused than that, what are your goals? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? Because we all should have some things that we want to get done. We all should have some loose ends that we want to get tied up by the end of 2018. What are those goals? And again, go back to number 4, be realistic about what those goals are. Goals should always be fluid. Goals should always be a living thing, they should always be flexible, they should always be nimble, and they should always be something that you come back to and you check and you revise as necessary. So keep in mind what your goals are and how you're going to accomplish them. But also remember, as you're setting these goals, be realistic, be positive, focus on the big picture, and all of those other things that I talked about earlier in this video. When we're defining our goals for these last few weeks of the year, keep all those other things in mind. Okay? Well, that is all I have for you today. I hope you all found this helpful. I would be very curious to know what are some of the things that you do during the end of the year, during the holiday season, during the hustle and bustle of November and December to help you stay focused as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, as a traditional professional on your brand and the things that you know that you need. I mean, time doesn't stop, right? And once this holiday season is over, we got to jump right back into it. So what are some of the things that you do to stay on track and to stay focused? So y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of this time with your family and friends and your loved ones. And I will see y'all in the next one next week. Bye.